Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to Bonk update. And I feel like Bonk is ready to move maybe a 20% further push to the upside is very possible at the moment. Now the reason I say this is because currently the prices are of course trading at 1754, but it does look like there's this trend line that needs to be back tested. So your support in there, you got some few support right in there, you have another support right in here. And the last video that I made about Bonk was just to talk about the fact that you have the opportunity, or you have the chance to actually go back up and back test this particular trend line. So in my opinion, that's what we're building up right now, and eventually we're slowly trying to get there and come up to this trend line, which is going to be 2220, something like that. I think as soon as you can actually backtest it right here, you may actually see another drop coming up for Bonk, and that's going to be all the way down to maybe 1388. So can you enter a trade right now? Let's see if there is any entry opportunity. I think that if you do enter the trade, for me it's getting a bit hard personally to recognize where the stop losses can actually be. But yes, it's a consolidation going on and on, but the stop loss is very big, right? So the stop loss could actually be somewhere down here, which is 5.89% risk, which is actually pretty big. But that would be the best one. If you come to 1650, I think that invalidates the whole scenario to continue to go on and push up. I wouldn't even say it's going to invalidate any scenario, but yeah, that can actually be the end of, a little bit of a hope from here, this point onwards, because you can still go down like this, come to even 1670, and you can find another support like this, and then eventually you can also then go back up again to like 2169. So it's still possible that you do. Maybe if you just come down to 1675, then you can actually have a good entry right at 1675 and ride it all the way to the upside, then with the stop loss down at 1634. That would actually be better. But right now where you're sitting at is difficult. I think in here, buying in here, okay, you can actually have your stop losses easily taken away. You can still get lucky. I'm not saying you're going to go down. You can still get lucky in there, but it's not a very high probability setup. It's just good to use a small risk, small amount, and see how that goes. And if it doesn't, that's fine. And as soon as it comes down to that trend line, at least you're entering a support line, because this here is a support line, right? So if you ever see Bonk just making a small just a small pullback down to 1690 or 1680, that's your support. At least you know that. And then from here, ride it all the way to the upside. So that's it. I don't really think there's anything else left to actually talk about. We have a rising wedge on the 4-hour time frame, and this rising wedge technical target is down at 1410. But in my opinion, the most logical thing to do right now is to retest that trend line one more time, get rejected. Now another thing is, even if you don't get rejected, you could actually smash through this thing and just go and become bullish. Okay, so if you do that, just use a stop loss. You can actually have 1% risk right at that resistance. So I've actually given you two places you can actually buy, which could be the best places to buy, and that is number one, to this small trend line at 1690. That could be a little bit of a trend line, and with the expectation that it goes up to that trend line resistance here at 2120. Now if that doesn't happen and you just pump all the way up to 2177, or let's say 2200, you have another opportunity at 2200. So you can open up a short at 2200, maybe risk 1.5%, max 2%, and then from there 1410 is your probably best place to actually take a profit in the future. So hope this makes sense, and I'm going to see you in the next one in the office.